Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of November 18th. This week you have this Truth Be Told card and this TikTok card. So, there's a lot of retrograde, so the truth could be coming out in pretty much any area of your life, or you could be seeing the truth. Again, retrogrades can bring in a great amount of clarity, and so the truth could just be clarity, right? And that's kind of what I feel for a lot of people right now, is that maybe we are getting the truth in the sense that we're getting answers that we need, or, we're understanding things that we didn't understand before. And so again, personally, I like retrograde times because, again, they bring in a lot of clarity. And so, you could be seeing through some sort of illusion. What's really crazy about this reading already is you have 2 6s here and 2 6s here. I love 2 6s. To me, 2 6s kind of says you're on the right path, you're going in the right direction. And I don't think I've ever had a reading like this where there's like 2 and then 2 like that. So, again, that is definitely confirmation for your path or for your journey or whatever it is that you're doing in your life, which is great. You start with the 6 of Cups. The 6 of Cups is a card of like innocence and nostalgia. It can definitely represent thinking about the past. And, what I think for you, Sagittarius, is I feel you're seeing the potential in something. We go High Priestess to the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. And the High Priestess, she is a card of your intuition. And you actually have High Priestess to the Moon, which would be very intuitive. But the High Priestess is the card of unlimited potential. She has no roof over her head, and she's sitting in front of a temple, so there should be a roof, but there isn't. And the whole point is that whatever she's thinking about, or whatever opportunity she's looking at here with the Ace of Wands, has unlimited potential. The only thing that can prevent whatever it is that she is thinking about doing from growing is herself, right? And so there's clearly like an opportunity with potential. It's something new coming in for you. You have the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is a card of resourcefulness, or tapping into your resources or using your resources. So I think it would be a great time to be resourceful. And you have that 6 of Pentacles as well. 6 of Pentacles says, like, it's kind of reminding me of like stretching a dollar, And I'm not saying that you should be like worried about money or anything, but I do feel that all of us are in a time of resourcefulness. I always say, even if you have $1 billion in your bank account, I wouldn't be like wasting money right now. I would be coming up with other solutions. Or I would be finding ways to do things that don't take a lot of money. But this isn't just money. It's also like your time. You have that TikTok card. So I think we are also in a time of efficiency. And it's like, is there a way that you can do things more efficiently that will make your job faster or better or simpler? And, a great example is we have AI right now. It's like, regardless of how you feel about it, there are definitely things that you can do with AI that make things faster, right? And so I think, this is about being efficient and using things efficiently. You have the 6 of Swords. Moving forward, I feel pretty good about this reading. The other readings have been kind of meh this week for people, but for you, I kind of feel there's just this like nice, gentle flow to your week, this nice forward movement. Maybe you're still in some slightly choppy waters, but I think things seem to be flowing nicely. And maybe it's the 2 6s twice that I'm feeling here in this reading, but I definitely feel you're like moving forward. It's like a nice pace this week. It's not too crazy, and just like looks like a nice calming week for you here, Sagittarius. So I really like to see that. With the 6 of Cups, you have the Page of Pentacles. If you do want love, not really love reading, but if you do want love, there could be like a new person coming in for you. Usually with the Page of Pentacles, we start with communication. So, it could be one of those things where you're just talking to a person. Definitely could be an earth sign. So if you're looking for love, it could be an earth sign. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the 10 of Swords. I do think that some of you have lost, have in the past have lost some income, and whether this is the loss of a job, or maybe you quit, or maybe something happened. I would say again, the good news about this reading is that I think that you're going to see how losing this a position in the past was actually a blessing. I feel like there are much better opportunities coming in for you. Even the 6 of Pentacles is something where you're getting paid more your worth, right? So a lot of you, maybe you did lose something in the past, but it seems to me like you are about to get, if you haven't already, I think you're about to get something that's much better. We've been talking about this for weeks. With the 6 of Swords, yes, you have the 8 of Wands. Again, 8 of Wands is a very good card for flow and for forward momentum. So a lot of you are, moving forward. I think you're making progress. I think things are just, progressing nicely and going in a good direction with the 8 of Wands. So I really like to see this. The Eight of Wands is also a card of communication. So Page of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, this could actually be good news that's coming in for you this week as well. And again, if you've been waiting for something with that, especially like a job or a position, I just feel that Six of Pentacles is talking about a job for some reason, which it can. Usually the Six of Pentacles can also represent like a raise or a promotion as well, especially with the Six of Wands here, which would also be like a raise or promotion. So really good. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this macaque card. It says matriarchal, cordial, and hierarchy. You have a unicorn that says divine purity, rarity, and sovereignty. So your freedom is going to be very important for you. It is for everyone. We have Uranus and Taurus, and still for like another year until 2026. And so I think a lot of people are going to be very focused on freedom and setting themselves free. I've been talking about this for years since Uranus went into Taurus, that what we should be working on is setting ourselves free. I think before Uranus and Taurus, we have all been kind of like bound to something that really wasn't cutting it. Uranus and Aries. Uranus and Aries is very much more unpredictable. Uranus is unpredictable in the first place, but when we had Uranus and Aries, it is much more like up and down with things, where it's like on one minute you can be making more money, and then like the next minute you get a huge bill that you have to pay off all at once. So maybe back in like 2008, 2012, like somewhere in there, between those years, you had those experiences where you would make money and then lose it, or something would happen. And so that, I think, forced us to start searching for things that are more predictable. And, predictability is definitely one thing that can lead to more freedom. And I think that's what you are still kind of looking for. And the Six of Pentacles is you finding it. So I feel that you're finding something that's much more worth it. Six of Pentacles is worth the investment. He's investing in this person, but not in this person here. He is picking and choosing where he gives his energy or his pentacles. And I think a lot of you have learned those lessons. I don't know. It's kind of like I get a very weird feeling on this Six of Pentacles, like not in a bad way. It just like, it's not giving me like the traditional message. I think it's just saying that you've learned some sort of lesson about like where your energy goes. And obviously it's a good thing. Again, you have the High Priestess talking about unlimited potential. The High Priestess has to embrace mysteries, and, there's also a theory that she is shutting herself out to the world. There's a theory that she has her back to the world, and she's doing this so she can, find her own inner answers, and so she can listen to her higher self even, or her intuition. And I think that would be a good thing for you to do. Again, Mercury retrograde is actually a good time to isolate yourself, or to take more intuitive time, or to take more meditation time. And so I think all of that would be a good thing for you with the High Priestess. Next, you have the Six of Wands. Six of Wands, of course, is a card of a victory or a success. He is being celebrated for his victory, and I feel for a lot of you that you're about to be lifted up. Even this macaque card said hierarchy on it, so it's almost like you're going up a level, So we could say that this level, or that this reading is about you leveling up. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Cups, a lot of illusions. I think you've dealt with illusions in the past, and, I think you've maybe have felt gullible almost in the past, especially with people. I'm cheating a little bit because of your astrology, Sagittarius, but it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of you have like let people back into your lives in the past. And I'm not talking about just love. This could be family members, friends that did you dirty in the past. And it's like you trusted them again, and then they burnt you again. So, I think you've had to learn the hard way to see through illusions. And the good news is, again, I think that you are now seeing through illusions. Again, on the Six of Pentacles, this person here has something in his back pocket. And, it's kind of like a saying that someone has some ulterior motives. Someone has something in their back pocket. And so I think you've learned like to avoid people who have ulterior motives, or people who have covert contracts, or, whatever you want to call it. Next, with the High Priestess, you have the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles says, do not call attention to your weaknesses. Fives in the tarot have very easy solutions, and the solution of the Five of Pentacles is to double down on your strengths. I kind of feel like you have developed your own inner strength. There is this church behind these people, and it represents a place of sanctuary. But the High Priestess, the truth of the High Priestess is she is her own sanctuary. She is her own place of safety. And, I kind of feel like some of you have gotten to that point, which is great. That is very good for like personal development and things like that. With the Six of Wands, you have the Devil. I would just ignore jealousy at all costs. We have Mars going retrograde in Leo. I'm not a big fan of Mars retrograde in the first place, but definitely in Leo, I am not a fan of at all. I don't think it's necessarily going to be bad. But it definitely can bring out the jealous types. It definitely can bring out the people that are like, how dare you shine more than I do? And the best thing to do with Mars retrograde is always to ignore it. I always say this quickest solution to Mars retrograde is ignore the gossip. Don't take part in gossip. Ignore the jealousy. Don't start fights, right? When you start a fight during Mars retrograde, you always lose. So I would just avoid conflict at all costs. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this card. It says you are very close to achieving your goal. And you have the World card here as well, which would also represent being very close to achieving a goal. You have this card that says believe in the impossible. Yes, I always say Neptune and Pisces is the impossible. Neptune and Pisces gives us crazy dreams, like literally when we sleep, but also just dreams for our life. And so Neptune and Pisces encourages us to accomplish something impossible. The problem with Neptune and Pisces is it's hard. Neptune is very confusing. It's like, what's real, what's fake, what can you actually do, right? And we have this mask here on this Truth Be Told card right here. And this card says truth be told. It's like, what is the truth of what you can accomplish? There's this mask right here. So what is the truth, right? I don't know. I don't know what your truth is, but I think you need to kind of believe in the impossible and believe that you can accomplish something hard. You even have the moon, which is part of the fool's journey. There's this path going up to these mountains. So there are some mountains that you've had to climb, which is definitely an obstacle, but mountains also represent an achievement. So again, I think you could be accomplishing something great that has been difficult. You also have the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is this or that thinking, but she has this new island behind her. I would definitely be careful of this or that thinking. When you think about it, like everything in the news is this or that. They try to get us to think like this or that for every single issue that exists. But Pluto in Aquarius is going to be all about third place solutions, I believe, which are like solutions that no one has thought of. Like everybody thinks like this or that is the best for this situation. But the Two of Swords says, well, actually, there's something completely different over here that will solve the problem if you take your blindfold off and if you see it. So anything that you're dealing with or any challenge you're trying to overcome, and these challenges could be to have an accomplishment, like I said, or like to reach a goal. These challenges do not have to be a bad thing. If you just stay flexible, which I don't really think Sagittarius has a problem being flexible, so it's not really an issue. But what I would say is I would just stay flexible. I would open up to all solutions, and I would learn as much as you can, and that will bring in the most success. You have the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is out with the old and with the new. There's this castle back here that's crumbling, and the Ace of Wands is like a spark of hope or a spark of inspiration. It's always just a spark with the Ace of Wands, and usually it's something very inspiring or exciting to us when an Ace of Wands opportunity enters into our life. So I think a lot of you have to kind of like move towards your desire, and the Ace of Wands is like a passionate new beginning. So a lot of you could be embracing your passions more. With the moon, you have the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is about listening to your emotions, especially with that moon card. The moon has this lobster right here, and the lobster has its armor on, right? So lobsters don't do very well on land. And the lobster on the moon represents your emotional armor and needing to release your emotional armor so that you can be successful. The Ace of Cups would say follow your heart, like allow your emotions to be your guide. But sometimes, like if we're too protecting ourselves too much, then and we're blocking our emotions, we can't listen to the Ace of Cups. So I feel this is saying that you have to open up a little bit to be able to listen to your emotions. With the Two of Swords, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is pretty good in this situation. Eight of Pentacles is like straightforward, diligent work, like working towards accomplishing a goal. And, you have this card that says you're very close to achieving your goal. And so I would just keep putting the work into whatever you're doing. He's kind of like head down, nose to the grindstone. He's not like worrying about, the issues of his life. He knows he's very close. And so he's just like finishing up the work. And I feel some of you are in that position. This is also just great for your money in general. It could say that you're very close to improving your financial situation, which has been a story for you for a while, Sagittarius, that you've been trying to improve your finances. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords. Page of Swords is a card of curiosity, and definitely with the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Wands can just be a spark, like I was saying, and so it can just be something in life that we are becoming interested in, or something that is standing out to us as interesting. So I would pay attention to anything that kind of sparks into your life. This could be a very random moment where you just have an idea out of nowhere that you become passionate about, and I would move towards your passions with the Page of Swords for sure. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Cobra. It says Divine Awakening on it. And you also have this Rest and Endings card as well. So it's like, yeah, there's been some sort of ending, and now you are awakening to something new. And we even have the Death card in this last row as well. So I think you're waking up to something new. You have the Seven of Wands, the Death card in the World. Yeah, like I said earlier about people, I think you've learned, who you can trust, who you can't trust. The Seven of Wands is all about drawing a line in the sand and maintaining your boundaries. I kind of feel like there is something that you're going to want to protect here, even though it's showing up in the good stuff. But, protection isn't a bad thing. But, again, if you're working towards a goal, I would protect it from anyone who could, hate on it, be jealous of it, whatever. And I would put those boundaries up. You have the Death card. Death in the good stuff would be a major change. The Death card would also say that you're entering into a sun period. You have been in a moon period with the moon card here. A moon period is a period of confusion, illusions, not seeing things clearly. But the sun is coming up between the two pillars on the moon here on the Death card, and it can say you're entering into a period of clarity, light, fun, joy, happiness, peace, all those other good things. So the Death card can also kind of represent the light at the end of the tunnel. There's this white rose on his banner, and the white rose on the banner represents the light at the end of the tunnel, or that pinprick of light in the darkness that chases the darkness away. And so you're entering into a period of light. You have the World, again, definitely a goal. This card says you're very close to achieving your goal. The World is an accomplishment, and so the World can be like a goal that we're trying to achieve. And I feel for a lot of you that you are about to achieve something that you've been working towards for a very long period of time. For some of you, I feel like this is part of your story. It's like, sometimes I think there are things in life where we want to be able to say that you did something or you accomplished it, right? And I kind of feel this is one of those goals that it more is a goal that has to do with the story that you'll be able to tell about yourself, if that makes sense. And, I'm really focused on her on this card, this sorceress that's in the middle of the card. I feel like that's you. And I feel like there's part of your story where you want to be able to say, I did that, and I feel like that's what you're accomplishing. With the Seven of Wands, you have the King of Wands. Even though this is Aries, which I think I've said this to you before, we could just say this is you showing up in the reading. So whenever you show up as yourself, kind of puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading. But I kind of feel like you're showing up in a very strong position as yourself here, and I just feel like it's good. With the Death card, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Definitely a positive change in your finances. We started with the Queen of Pentacles. We end with the Queen of Pentacles. In the good stuff, we have the Ten of Swords with the Queen of Pentacles, which is a little bit challenging. So having the Queen of Pentacles over here in the good stuff would say that you are making changes in your finances and you are being more resourceful. It could also say that you are increasing your resources, which we kind of said with the Six of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is the work. Eight of Pentacles is a financial increase, but one thing I will say about the Eight of Pentacles is that we have to do the work. It's work. It's not like just some magical, increase in your finances, right? With the World, you have the Page of Cups. Yeah, a little bit of love here as well if you want it. So some of you, again, we have the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. This could represent an admirer or a secret admirer coming in for you if you have a desire for a connection. The Page of Cups, he also has this fish in this cup right here, and that fish might not exist. It might be something that he is dreaming of or imagining. So a lot of you could be accomplishing something that you've been dreaming of. You have this four-leaf clover. It says great good fortune on it. So a lot of you could be feeling very fortunate, or there could just be more luck coming in for you. I feel like you feel more lucky because of the 4 6s. It's like you feel like you're going in the right direction. You feel like I said earlier, there's something about some sort of nice flow for you this week, or just feeling like things are flowing in a better direction. You have this teapot. It says deep friendship with someone of the same sex. Yeah, like I said, I think a lot of you might actually end up having less friends in the future, but they are definitely closer friends, right? They're much better friends. And also, same thing with family as well. I think you're forming these much better connections. And it's kind of like a, quality over quantity type of thing that I get off of this card. You have a Spear card that says heartache over what you no longer have. We're in a different time. I would say the one challenge for fire signs right now and probably over the past couple of years is just the fact that things have changed. We can't do things in the same way since COVID, right? It's there was before COVID and now there's after COVID. And, things have changed in the world. I think a lot of people wish things were the way they used to be, but we're not getting back to that. And, those are the things that we have to release. You have this torch card. It says spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, and understanding. So definitely could be, I think you've developed a lot. I mean, High Priestess, Moon, those cards would be spiritual development. And again, I would work on your emotional development as well with that Ace of Cups. You have this door card that says opportunities are waiting for you. And we have this doorway right here in the middle. So I think that moving towards your truth, what you think is true about life and the world and, all that other stuff is kind of where these opportunities on this card are going to be coming from. But pretty straightforward as usual, Sag. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.